Are there any students here to speak out this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on. Does anyone invite any announcements this evening? Moving on to our first presentation, which is President Nellis. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Lydia. Thank you all for being students here at Ohio University, and welcome back. It doesn't seem like we're actually in the 5th week, I believe, right? Of the semester. It doesn't seem possible. It seems like it started just the other day. But anyway, I'm so happy to have you all here at Ohio University, and thank you for your willingness to step up and be leaders, student leaders at our university through Student Senate. I appreciate the important role that Student Senate plays. As I think you know, I meet regularly with Lydia, and occasionally she brings other members of her leadership team. She also sits as a member of my president's cabinet, so she's there for a lot of the key discussions associated with the university, and that's in the spirit of shared governance. And I meet with her regularly, and also the graduate student senate leader, Doreen Tedros, and also the variety of senates that we have across the university. So but I appreciate Lydia's voice, and also the things that she's really focused on, I think, with many of you this year as well. Things like sustainability. I know you're going to be hearing more about sustainability initiatives. That's something that we take a lot of pride in here at Ohio University. Last year, we actually restructured our sustainability efforts around a sustainability hub, and I'm not going to go into any detail because I don't want to steal Lane's thunder, but I think there's a lot of important efforts, and we have a tremendous recycling effort up on the ridges. That's one of the largest in-vessel recycling systems on any campus in the United States that we're very, very proud of as well. And certainly mental health is something that we continue to expand services and support to our students, and we appreciate you bringing that forward to us, but also we want to be supportive of all of you and meet your overall needs. We want you to come to Ohio University, and we want you to have success, and we want you to also have a safe and supportive environment. And as far as safety, as you know, we continue to work to expand our safety efforts, and I appreciated last year's efforts, Lydia. Many of you were part of that, where it's on us, but also the university's overall efforts in the context of we put in a lot of additional cameras. We tried to be real proactive in getting messaging out about safety for our students. We've worked with local business leaders as well, and really try to create a very supportive environment. I compliment our Dean of Students, Jenny Hall-Jones, but also Dr. Tina, our Vice President for Student Affairs, and the leadership that they've provided, working with all of you also around that. This is it's an interesting time in higher education in the United States. There's a lot of change happening at institutions as we kind of rethink the academic enterprise and the way in which we interface with all of you and create a dynamic learning environment that prepares you for what is an ever accelerating future. So when I graduated from college many years ago, but it wasn't unusual to have 4 or 5 different jobs during a career, and now they're talking about possibly 15 to 20 that you might all experience during your lifetime. And so being able to pivot and be prepared for different opportunities as you're trained as a student here, we want you to go out into the world and be prepared to be able to be engaged in society, to be successful, and to have a high quality of life. Our freshman class this year, as I think many of you know, we are down a little bit in enrollment. Part of that is a reflection of the changing demographics in the state of Ohio. We have fewer and fewer high school seniors. We have an aging population in Ohio, so the state's population is growing, but we have fewer and fewer high school seniors, and so we're still not too far off of the proportion of that senior class that we're getting at Ohio University, but I think we could do a better job in articulating our brand and the quality of the educational experience that you all recognize here at our university. And we want to do a more effective job at that, and I'll elaborate on that here very shortly. But our freshman class this year had the highest grade point average ever. 3.55 was the average grade point average. And we also had the highest percent of students in the top 10% of their high school graduating class. It was around 20% of our students were in the top 10% of their high school graduating class. And that's also a record. And as you probably also know, we have students from all 50 states, the breadth and diversity of our student body. We also have a number of new administrators, and I mentioned these in case you haven't read, but you might run into them, and I hope you'll engage them. Some of you represent them through the student voice as part of their colleges, but we have a new Dean of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Glassman, and he comes to us from Binghamton University in New York. The new Dean of the Russ College of Engineering, Dr. Way, is from the University of Connecticut, and we're really excited to have her here. The new HTC Dean, which also includes our expanded honors program. We have around 350 new students in the Honors College, and HTC is a dimension of that, but is Dr. Skinner, who comes to us from the University of Wyoming, and where he was the Dean of the Honors College there. Alden Library, a number of you spend quite a bit of time in Alden Library studying and socializing in various groups, but the new Dean of of Alden Library is Dr. Romanowski, and he's coming to us from the University of Toronto, so we're excited to have him. And we also have a new dean of the Athens campus for the Heritage College of Osteopathic Medicine, Dr. Longenecker, and she comes to us from Illinois. In promoting our brand, I created a new vice president position. I elevated a position that was formerly an executive director for branding and marketing of the university, and now is a vice president for communications and marketing. And I hired Robin Oliver, and so you'll possibly see her around if you haven't had the chance to interact with her already. She comes to us from Western Carolina University, but she was the 2018 National Marketing Association Marketer of the Year, and she's already working to update our web presence, our social media, the 30-second spot we get when we play football games on TV, all those things, the way we're promoting the institution, she's already looked at that and is trying to help us identify the unique dimensions that define Ohio University. And then we also have a new AD, athletic director, the first woman to be athletic director in the history of Ohio University, and one of the few at the FBS level in the United States, Julie Cromer, and she comes to us from the University of Arkansas, where she was a deputy senior athletic director at the University of Arkansas, and she was also an associate vice chancellor at the University of Arkansas. But really happy to have her here as well. So as we look to the future, here about 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, I had my State of the University address. And I spoke about being fearlessly first. You know, we are the first university in the old Northwest Territory, really the first university west of the Allegheny Mountains, and also one of the oldest public universities in the United States. Those of you that haven't read David McCullough's book, The Pioneers, it's a relatively new book, but it talks about the settlement of this part of Ohio and the plotting out of Ohio University. But we want to be fearlessly first to the future. We want to be nimble and responsive to the rapid changes that are occurring in our society and as far as the job opportunities. I was just at a Ohio University President's retreat for public university presidents in Ohio, and we had a speaker who showed us the companies and how they've changed, the dominant companies in the United States in the last 15 years and how they've changed. And we looked at it very rapidly through time. And, you know, things like companies like Facebook and Google and many others are out there, LinkedIn, et cetera, that are out there and growing dramatically, and companies that were once at the top have now declined. And some of them are not even on the top 15 chart, but it's just accelerating and changing so dramatically. And we want to make sure, again, that we have the support that you need to be successful, while we maintain our commitment to the core values that define Ohio University. And the number one strategic pathway that I have is diversity and inclusion. We want to create an environment that's respectful of everyone in our university community, no matter their orientation, where they come from, their religious beliefs, etc. We want to be inclusive and respectful of them. We want to enhance our academic reputation. We want to be more engaged as a university. And we want to create an environment where we can have open dialogue and civil debate. So I outlined at my State of the University address 11 strategic initiatives as we move forward. And I'm not going to go into detail about them here, but you can go online and there's a website, my president's website, where you can go and look at them and also provide comment, because I want to hear from you about your thoughts relative to these initiatives. But they relate to things like redefining the academic enterprise. You know, who would have thought even, and this is just one very sub dimension, and this is something I've been talking to Dr. Tina and others about, but who would have thought about where esports is today? It's just one example. Many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with esports and the dramatic growth in esports across the world. And then all the dimensions of the kind of that environment, e-learning environment, and are there ways that we can teach like physics or other subject matters through kind of the concept? So are there ways that we can interface with you more effectively, not only in the classroom, but also through that type of environment? But we have some new and creative programs like even in Fine Arts, the musical theater program, which combines music and theater, and it's very popular. It's a brand new program in that area, as an example. But many others that are being created and thought through. Last year we opened the CoLab and our entrepreneurial initiatives. That's an important area as well. So just really rethinking the academic enterprise. We're all about student success. I don't know how many of you follow like our retention from freshman to sophomore at Ohio University, but we're at about 84% from freshman to sophomore that we retain. And then we're also interested in persistence. So what's our 4-year graduation rate? What's our 6-year graduation rate? And many of you are coming to the university with anywhere from 15 to 30 credit hours because of College Credit Plus. So how does that impact the time that you're at our university? We want to think through that and create programming that is most engaging for you. And we want to be a state-of-the-art university as far as research and creative activities. We are looking at changing the general education requirements of the institution. It's been a long time since we've looked at that, and we need a very contemporary state-of-the-art gen ed process. It's moving forward very rapidly, and the goal is to have that in place for the next academic year. So I'm excited about that. One Ohio looks at our regional campuses and how they interface with our main university, and that's important. The whole digital transformation, I kind of alluded to that already, but we need to think through carefully how the digital environment is changing the way we interact with all of you. Before I came here, I was at Texas Tech. I've been president of Texas Tech University, but I taught in the Honors College as well. And the class that I taught, the way that class was structured, even beyond it being an honors class, but the way I structured it was very different from 15 or 20 years ago in the way I interacted with students. So there was much more blended learning, and even flipping the classroom where some of the stuff the students would watch online and then come to class and we would talk about what they had learned from that sort of experience. So we need to be thinking in that constant dynamic. Even reimagining the space that we use at our university, and finally elevating our marketing branding efforts. And that includes really the way in which we engage our alumni. Now, once you're a Bobcat, and you're all Bobcats now, we really want our Bobcats for life. And we want you to stay engaged with the institution. When you look at national rankings like US News and World Report and other major rankings, one of the criteria they use is how well you continue to engage your alumni through their life. And so one of the variables in that is even giving back. And it doesn't need to be a lot, even if it's $10 a year or whatever. But we're actually fairly low compared to some of our peer institutions. So that's something that when I talk to alumni, they're so passionate about the university. When I saw that statistic, I was actually surprised about that. But it's something that you can all help us as you become, you really are already Bobcats forever. So that type of engagement is really important. But anyway, I'm honored to continue to serve as president, the 21st president of Ohio University in our 215-year history. It's an amazing place, and I love being here. That doesn't mean we don't have challenges every day, but I certainly appreciate the opportunity to engage with all of you, and I really want to hear your perspectives and your voices, and as we shape the future of our university. So again, you should feel free at any time to reach out to me, either whether it's email or schedule a time to come and visit with me if there's something that's on your mind. I appreciate the opportunity to engage with you and, or share your thoughts with, our Dean of Students or Vice President for Student Affairs. And I'm sure they will, carry your, communication to me as well. But thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight, and I'll be glad to respond to any questions that people might have. Yes?
So first I just wanted to thank you again for coming in and speaking with us today.
Yes.
One of our main platform points for this year was talking about mental health, and that's of course one of the first things that you brought up today.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've done a really great job in the past year pushing more for these resources, and it seems like students are really responding to them. However, CPS, one of our primary resources that we push, has 15 full-time staff members, and as of 2018, only 12 clinicians in training. Is there talks about increasing staff within CPS to help alleviate more students to get through in a faster amount of time, or pushing the budget? That would be just able to do more resources.
Yeah, so Kay, I'll, I don't know, Jenny or Jason, if you want to.
Yeah, I can speak to it briefly. There is no firm plans on expanding the staff. What we're finding is that we do have a fair amount of staff turnover. So we're looking into, can we sort of overstaff, knowing that we may be short-staffed during the fiscal year? So we're looking to see if we can contract with therapists on an intermittent basis. So when a therapist leaves for whatever personal reasons they choose to do that, then we have backup so we can have more of the hours covered. So that's one thing that we've looked into doing. The other part is that we started last year, and some of you may know this, if you were with us from last year, we embedded a therapist half-time in the athletic department. Those hours were filled, so the athletic department asked to have that person full-time, which allows us to have some funding from athletics to be able to backfill some of the needs in Hudson and in Lindley. So we're also looking at expanding how we're supporting HCOM students. So there's 2 part-time therapists in HCOM, which will allow us to have budget relief to be able to have more people in Lindley and Hudson that can support all students. So in terms of a massive expansion, there isn't a budget to do it right now, but we're trying to figure out a way that we can partner with the colleges and different departments to expand our resources.
Yes, so I turn to the expertise to give you an accurate response. I appreciate the question though, and again, I know it's something we've had a lot of dialogue about at the executive level, and we truly want to continue to provide the support needed by our students. Again, not only in mental health, but also kind of wraparound services that provide support for those that may be struggling, who are maybe they're first-gen students, and they are they get here and there's so much change for them, and they may be struggling in their classes, and we're even working new software, matching software that we're working with Dr. Sayers as an example to provide academic support as well. Yes, please.
Thank you so much for coming to this job. It's the honor. Your time coming and presenting this is big.
Sure.
So I just had a quick question about, you touched on some revenue decreases to Ohio University when it came to college plus courses and decreased enrollment. And I was just wondering if you thought, if you think it makes fiscal sense for the board to grant you a $72,000 pay bonus and $7,000 pay increase annually, and if you would advise the board to make any kind of changes to their budgetary.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you bringing that up, and the board of trustees does my evaluation, and I think and they make the decision. It's not, I don't advocate for, they do a completely independent process. And when my contract was structured, that was part of that contract, which is also something that if you look within the state of Ohio and nationally is fairly common. But I also feel, I feel the concerns of what you expressed, and I have talked to the chair of our board about that, and so it's something that I'm sensitive to as we look to the future. But again, that's a decision that they made, and again, it's a reflection of, I guess, the job that they believe I'm doing, but also I understand the sensitivities. We do have some, faculty and staff that get certain levels of, certainly not at that level, but it's certainly get, because we have a merit system for our faculty. So based on performance, some get a lot more pay raise than others. But I appreciate it. Yes.
Yeah, like everybody said, thank you for coming. I know every
Sure.
single one of us appreciates it. Also, on another note, your tie is very aesthetically pleasing, and I
Oh,
appreciate
thank you.
But my question was, as we go into conversations about reforming general education,
Yes.
what strategies do you have in place on getting student input?
Yes.
Because I know it's something that students care about a lot, and we get feedback. I know, like, the Academic Affairs Commission does specifically. So if we wanted to know if, like, any of the higher executive meetings.
So there are two people that are kind of leading that effort, and I'm glad to make sure they follow up with Lydia and get the information out to you all as well to make sure that you're engaged. But Dr. Sayers, who's the dean of University College, and also she's a senior vice provost, and then Dr. Katie Hartman, who's a former faculty senator and also a professor over in the College of Business. Those are the two people leading that effort, but I'll make sure that they have that you're provided with the contact information so you can get updates and also provide perspectives on that.
I also like to say pointing that Stuart and Alicia sit on our general education task force right now. So if you have concerns with students, I would definitely talk.
So that's really useful to know. Yeah. So who are the two again?
Alicia and Stuart.
And Stuart. Okay, very good. Yeah, thank you for that. So that's really good. So I'm glad to hear that. But again, there's I'm sure they would take your direct input as well. Well, thank you all again. Oh, yes, please. I'm sorry. Over here.
This is just out of curiosity, but you mentioned how you're reforming Gen Ed curriculum.
Yes.
So it's modern curriculum. What type of reforms are you looking to make? What does a modern curriculum look like?
Well, and Stuart and you may be able to comment better because we have this group working. There's like a 12-person group that's working on this, and I haven't been updated. But one of the components that I think is really important is more of a module type of approach rather than a lot of Gen A curriculums in the past where you take so many hours of social sciences and so many hours of sciences and so many hours of quantitative techniques, et cetera. And so it's more of different types of experiences, I think, in the curriculum. And you would, it's kind of like, I don't know if any of you are in the new honors program, but we have certain areas of expertise, like engagement as an example, where you have certain types of experiences so that you can demonstrate that type of kind of knowledge base to check off your expertise, to recognize your experiences with engaging in a community type of experience or something like that. So rather than being course specific, I think it'll be more experiential learning. So the types of experiences you have that you bring through your general education experience. So that's a significant transition point. There are certain things that were required by the state of Ohio to follow, and that's prescribed. And so we have to make sure we're consistent with that.
I have one more question.
Yes.
How would these new Gen Ed changes affect those who may have already met the requirements,
Right.
such as like seniors, possibly juniors?
Well, you of course you're grandfathered in from as far as you have whatever the requirements were when you came in. That's what you're expected to attain. And many of you, through your other types of experiences, especially those of you like that are involved with the Student Senate, you're doing extra things that I think are complementing your learning environment. We're also trying to really integrate experiential learning, engaged learning into the curriculum more fully. So it's likely, I think, before you graduate, you will have some of those experiences, maybe not all of them. Part of it, though, is what you agree to participate in, like whether you participate in an internship or study abroad or community service or other types of activities outside the classroom. I think it's really important to complement your curriculum, and you still have time to do that, hopefully. Even volunteering for organizations in the community to broaden your perspectives, I think would be valuable to kind of complete that range of experiences that will help you as you go out on the job market, but also help you as you adjust to the changes during your lifetime as far as your career opportunities. So,
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
thank you all. Thank you.
We will also welcome Office of Sustainability Office now for a second presentation of the night. Presentation right now, so Vera, right after 3 minutes.
Okay, that sounds good. And I would also like to say, so I'm Elaine Getz and this is Sam Crowell, but we also have Dr. Ryan Pope here, and he's our Sustainable Administration Hub Coordinator. And he's gonna tell you when we get to the slide something really quick about what he's doing. So, let's see, so we're giving you a sustainability update. Just click that one, all right, thanks so much. And it's nice to see so many familiar faces, because I met a lot of you guys at the breakfast, and I know I got to tell you like a 1 minute update on sustainability, so this will be a little bit more information. It still is only touching the surface. And so there's a lot more that we could tell you about. If you're ever interested, you can always come to our office. We're in the greatest office on campus. We're in Gingham House. It's the little log cabin on the corner of Richland and Schaefer, across from the Convo and Eden. And so come visit us whenever you want. Yeah, okay, so today we're going to talk just real quickly about the sustainability definition, just so we're on the same page about what sustainability is. Then we're going to give you a Sustainability Hub Coordinator update. That's where Ryan will come in. And then we're going to talk about the Sustainability Plan revisions, and that's the really big piece that we're here to tell you about. And then Sam will end with our upcoming events. And then you can ask us questions. So, what is sustainability? So, sustainability is the capacity to simultaneously benefit people, planet, and prosperity, both now and in the long term. And it's that center triangle of that Venn diagram. So something is not sustainable unless it benefits all three of those things. So that's important to remember when you think about sustainability, because oftentimes sustainability is used in pop culture just meaning like something that's environmentally friendly or something. And that's actually not what the academic definition of sustainability is. It's much more in-depth and broader framework than that. And so sustainability is actually, in its core, is a decision-making framework. And as students, you should know that it uses all of these core competencies that you're supposed to learn as a student. So sustainability is a great framework for students to know and to understand and to use to apply to all of the things that you're doing, whether it's a project or a process or an organization. So as President Mellis alluded to, we recently had a big change in the structure of sustainability. We used to be just like on the left here, we were just kind of in operations, this top-down kind of boring structure, and now we're this really colorful and exciting structure on the right. And so our structure now has 12 themes, including things like buildings, energy, water, waste, procurement, investments, student life, human resources. It includes 12 different areas, and then behind all of that, or underlying all of that, are the core missions of the university. So we have areas of curriculum, research, and engagement. And then we also have a support piece. We are the support piece. We're that center yellow piece, and we support all the sustainability activities for the university. Okay, and this is just a quick page to say that we win lots of awards. So there's a lot to be proud of about sustainability here at the university. Of course, we have lots more to do, but it is something that we feel good about some of the things that we've achieved. All right, so now we're going to have a quick update on the Sustainability Hub, is what they're doing, and we'll start with Ryan.
Okay.
Dr. Coates, and it's
Okay. So I'm overseeing the Sustainable Administration Hub, and I oversee initiatives in climate, human resources, procurement, and investments. And so what the university is doing in each of those areas. My own area of research and expertise is in climate. I teach in the geography department and meteorology, but also a lot of climate change courses at the undergrad and grad level. One of the initiatives that I've launched in the Sustainable Administrating Hub last January is this program called the Climate and Sustainability Ambassadors. I see several of you in the room here. It's a really exciting new group of students that are passionate about sustainability, want to do something on campus and across the region to promote sustainability, increase sustainable living, reduce carbon footprints, and promote climate literacy here on campus and in the schools in the region. So we're doing lots of different things. Let me see here. Okay, so this last year we launched it in January, and we had over 80 students just kicked right off the bat in this. We just visited classrooms and really got a lot of people passionate about this and engaged and involved right away. And we did a few projects in the spring last year to have students involved, including the parade and Sustainability Day. We did storm drain marking across campus. If you've seen drains to river along storm drains, a lot of our ambassadors did those markings. We went to middle school science classrooms and talked about climate change. This last first football game of the season here this year, we kicked it off partnering with Zero Waste to make all of our home football games zero waste events. And so we had over 20 ambassadors serve as bin goalies to help people make good decisions about sorting waste into the proper waste stream and try to recycle as much as we can. And we're right now in this recruiting phase. In fact, this week, in lots of classes across campus, we are having ambassadors recruit and get more people involved in this really exciting initiative because it's an ongoing thing. So if you want to be involved, you can definitely contact me and do that. What we plan to do is expand. We want to reach more students. We want to reach more people. We want to serve more people. And so this fall, we're going to do in November, hopefully a really exciting event with Res Life, and to reach students living in the dorms to talk about how can you reduce your energy use, how can you recycle better, how can you reduce your carbon footprint, how can you walk, bike, get across campus more efficiently and without a big impact. We're going to visit more schools to talk about climate change to middle school or science students this year in the spring, and we're working with the education program here on campus to partner with what they're already doing in these schools to reach even more. And with community groups like Rural Action and the great things they're doing across the region for the environment and sustainability to go with 2 different programs on that. And then really help zero waste. They're doing a lot of things across campus. They see more people to do more, and so the ambassador is going to be a really great resource for them to reduce the amount of waste that goes into landfill, help to reclaim a lot of that for recycling and compost as much as we can too. So it's a really exciting thing that we're doing for all students, graduate, undergraduate, and faculty and staff can partner with us as well. So a really cool thing that I think is part of this new restructuring of sustainability.
And if you want to join the Climate and Sustainability Ambassador, or tell people to join, you can just go to our website. It's ohio.edu/sustainability, and you get one of those cool t-shirts that he's wearing.
Absolutely.
So that's great. Thank
One of
you,
the
Ryan.
plus. Yeah.
All right, and so our other 2 hubs really quickly, we got a Sustainable Living Hub. It's led by Dr. Teresa Moran, and she has 2 fun initiatives. One is the Ohio Student Farm. If you've never been there, it's a really, really neat place. You can see the picture up at the top. It has a hermit door you go through, the hermit hole, or right, whatever they call that. But it's like this hidden little door you could go through and you get into this beautiful student farm. And so the one of the great things that she's done in the past few months is she's gotten the student farm GAP certified, which is the certification that's required by USDA so that we can use the food in our central food facility so that it can be served in the dining halls. So now you actually can be eating in the dining halls food from our student farm. And then secondly, oops, I guess I should have flipped that earlier. Secondly, she has the Farm to Ohio Working Group, and that expands it to our community. And so she's worked to GAP certify local farms. So now some of the food in the dining halls has fresh vegetables and produce from local farms that are now GAP certified and are able to sell to the university. So that's really a neat initiative. And then the Sustainable Infrastructure Hub, that's led by Dr. David Bayless. He's a mechanical engineering professor, and he also has 2 projects. His are going to be really great. They're just beginning, but his first one is a sustainability project laboratory, and he is matching, he's trying to create a curricular matching program with sustainability initiatives. So If you're in a classroom that has a project, or if it's project-based, it can look, the faculty member can look in our sustainability project laboratory, which is only has 3 things in it right now, but it's expanding. We've got a lot more to put in. We just haven't had the time to add them yet. But anyway, the faculty member can go there and find something that looks like a neat project to do in class, and we will have it prepared for them to just pop it into their class. So you'll have a lot more access to sustainability projects that are proposed by the community members, and are also proposed by staff members around the university. If they see a problem, like, why is the air conditioning so cold in here? You know, that might be a controls problem. That might be an engineer in the mechanical engineering department. They can look into the controls as their project and say, oh, I know what the problem is in this room, the damper stock or something. So that's a very simple project. But anyway, so that's a neat initiative that he has to create those projects and make them accessible to faculty members. And the second one is, this is something that's really important to me personally. He's working on a triple bottom line cost benefit analysis tool. So as I said at the beginning, sustainability is a decision-making framework. And how do we tell people, how do we prove to people that something is the right decision? You know, if we want to buy solar panels, or if we want to have more composting, or if we want to invest sustainably in our foundation investments, how do we prove that that is the right thing for us to do? Well, it has to benefit people, planet, and prosperity more than it costs people, planet, prosperity, right? If you were making a decision, you'd want to know that it benefited you more than it cost you, right? So we need to find a way, and find in this tool is hopefully the way that we can, when we're talking to the president or to Jason or to somebody else, you know, that can make decisions for the university. We want to say, here's a tool that shows you that the benefits are greater than the costs. So this is a little bit tricky because you have to have financial proxies for things like, what is the financial benefit of education? Or what is the financial benefit of social justice? Or things like that that are tricky and are hard to monetize. But that's something that Dave is working on. He's working on it with a group of people from Voinovich and some students, and it's a really important initiative. So I probably spent too long on that. So the plan revision, that's what we're here for, really. And so this is a requirement of our president's climate commitment. It's now called the carbon commitment. And we are supposed to update our sustainability and climate action plan every 5 years. We are behind on this for various reasons, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. We just need to finish it now. So we've been working on this intensely since last spring. And so we have already completed the goal and target envisioning internally, and we've come up with what we think are pretty decent goals and well, in most cases, pretty decent goals and metrics and targets and proposed strategies. And then we've taken them to the responsible parties, the people who would actually do those initiatives, that would actually implement them. And so we've asked them, does this look right? Does this align with the university's priorities and what you're already doing? And is there a way you can report to us what you're doing? And they've given us comments back. We've got hundreds of comments that are in a spreadsheet, and we've written down how we're responding to each one of them. And right now we are going back to them and getting their approval for how we've changed those sections of the plan. So we have 16 sections of this plan because we have 12 themes and 4 core areas. So this is pretty extensive. We've talked to probably over 60 different people about it so far. So we've completed goal and target envisioning 1, responsible party vetting, goal and target revisions 2, and then we're going to be moving to public vetting soon, probably within the next couple of weeks. And so this is where you guys come in. We really need your input. Are these the right goals? Are we pushing hard enough with our targets and our metrics? Are we missing major things that are important to you as students? So we're going to have a lot of public forums, and we hope you will participate in that. And then after we get all the public comments, we'll once more go back, revise the plans, send it through the approval process. So hopefully by December, we will have all of that done, and then go through the official approvals. All right, so this is just some of the draft goals. A lot of these are really no-brainers, like reducing institutional greenhouse gases and maintain and operate our existing buildings to reduce impacts. Some of them are maybe of interest to you, like student life support and promote student physical and mental health, wellness, and resilience. So those actually have a lot of ties to sustainability. These are draft goals, though. They're not completely approved, so don't just take them with a grain of salt for the moment. And this is what the boards will look like. When we ask for feedback and we go to a public forum, the boards will look like this, and you'll be able to put post-it notes on them and write on them, or just give us your feedback via a website or email or phone or however you want to. So we really want to make these what we want as a university. We want it to align with our common goals. And, but secondly, as an institution, our reputation is based on what they call the STARS, ASHE STARS scores. And even though we get a lot of recognition, our STAR scores are not quite as high as we want them to be. So that's one of the goals of this plan, is to make sure that the goals that we have and the metrics that we collect align with these, so that those bars get a little bit higher. The gray is average for all universities. We're above average for all areas except for academics, and a lot of that just has to do with data collection. So we're trying to make sure that our data collection and our goals align with these plans, so that we can be known as a really sustainable university with the most standard metric that's used nationally. All right, and then Sam will give you.
Okay, real quick. So if you're interested in sustainability, interested in being actively involved, the Climate and Sustainability Ambassadors is a fabulous organization, and we can tie you into them. And then we have lots of events. Our office is running 4 or 5 events every month, and then we partner with other organizations such as the Boynovich School of Leadership and Public Affairs. They did the Sustainability Film Series, so I threw that up there. The big ones to note here, and all of this is available on our website, are our Sustainability Hub seminars. So the next one is next week, October 3rd. These are held in the front room, Baker Center, obviously. Dr. Teresa Moran will be talking about her initiative in the Sustainable Living Hub. Dr. Foad already did his Sustainability Hub seminar last month. And then in November, Dr. Bayless will be leading the Sustainable Infrastructure Hub seminar. So that's a really good way to find out what's going on and how you can be involved, and just learn more about all the initiatives of our office at the university.
Just questions.
Okay, we're up to questions. How about
Does
that?
anyone have any questions?
I know that it's climate change is kind of a hot topic right now with the
Strikes.
climate strikes, yes. And I was wondering if I wasn't able to attend because I unfortunately had an exam that I could not miss. But I wonder how you guys feel about that, and about the Athens area. I feel like that this is really important, talking about the farms within really close distances and things like that. Like, I think it's all really important. So I was wondering if you guys have reached out to the kids who are doing that as well.
Yeah, actually, several of the students in our office were there, and our student intern from the high school was there, and one of our hub coordinators was there, and Sam was there, and I was not there. I had meetings all day and couldn't get there, but obviously climate is extremely important. It's really a climate emergency at this point, and we need to do something about it. So
It's a great example of the community in the university. I mean, I was there, and there were many people there affiliated with the university, students, faculty, staff, and then a lot of community members. And it's those issues that don't have any borders, right? We can't say from the Board of Athens or the Board of the university, we all need to be concerned about that. So it's great to see that kind of momentum and to see those people all come together. And I had another meeting, but the parade uptown and riding the bicycles, just as a visual sort of example of what we all need to be doing more of. I thought it was great.
That's refreshing to hear from, people in the university, working on these things also are thinking about those things, some other things sometimes. So I
Sure.
appreciate it.
and I think several of your senators were there. So I know if you were.
So I just had a really quick question. My roommate actually works at the student farm.
Oh,
And
nice.
he and I both rave constantly about the great work. I mean, not only just in terms of community growth, but just in terms of sustainability, how great that project is.
Yeah.
And I was just curious if you guys had any plans, just what the future looked like for that program. If there are any plans to expand or anything like that. Just
Well, there are a lot of different things I could say about that, but I guess maybe the most exciting thing is that in Giving Day this last year, we worked with Advancement and produced I forget what they called it, a storyboard or something like that, that was highlighted in Giving Day, and we received $7,000 of donations for the student farm to expand it into a student farm and orchard. And so they've been working over the summer to buy and plant some of the berry bushes and the trees. I'm not a gardening person, so I mean, I garden vegetable gardens, but I'm not a fruit and berry person, so I'm not sure. There's something about they have to plant at certain times, and I'm not sure whether they're all in or not, but there is a lot of money. I mean, $7,000 is a lot of money, so there's a lot of money going toward that, and of course the student food sales in Grover on Wednesdays today from 2 to 4. That raises money for the student interns, but then working probably raises money for your student. So those are some things going on.
I just wanted to add that when the student farm does their farmers market sells, when they have leftovers of things that they could sell, they donate them to the food pantry. It's just a wonderful collaboration as well. We appreciate that.
In the Baker Edible Garden, if you've noticed, that's part of the Ohio Student Farm, and there were a couple hundred cherry tomatoes harvested today that will be available for food insecurity in the pantry tomorrow. So go get yourself some cherry tomatoes. Award-winning cherry tomatoes. Number one out of this county.
So I remember last year you guys were facing table and outside dining calls about portion control, and I was wondering if there's been any more thought or concrete, thought given to that.
Yeah, we actually worked a little bit with a psychology professor and decided that was not the best way to go about doing it.
Yeah.
It ended up, being a little too much like shaming. And that wasn't really the plan, the idea. So she has suggested some like nudging, I think, is one of the better psychological techniques to encourage people to do more sustainable behaviors. And so that psychology professor won a really big award, and she's off campus for the next year. Claudia. Anyway, so she's not here this semester or this year. I think she's gone the entire year. So that project is maybe a little bit on hold, but we are always thinking about behavior change. Behavior change is a big part of sustainability, and maybe we'll come up with something that's a lot better than that project that we tried. Yeah.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight, but thank you so much for now. President Ramla, present. Vice President Lundy Morris, Treasurer McGadd, Commissioner Gill, Senator Shaver, Senator Rochelle, Senator Olo Beck Indy, Senator Archibald, Senator Stevenson,
Present.
Senator Boer, Senator Klein, Senator Everline, Senator Moore, Senator Arts, Commissioner Gibson, Senator Gordon, Senator Fenton,
Present.
Senator Quay, Commissioner Shrive, Commissioner Kramer, Commissioner Anstutron, Senator Akin, Senator Warkamp, Senator Warren, Commissioner Newman, Senator Steele, Commissioner Zimmerman, Senator Adams, Senator Thomas, Senator Bellew, Commissioner Bosinger, Senator Klein, Senator Schmidt,
Proxy.
Commissioner Conrad Sweeney,
Present.
Senator Fink, Senator Shank, Senator Duziak, Senator Freepeck, Senator Van Ezra,
Present.
Senator Sweeney,
Present.
Senator Kurtel, Commissioner Holcamp, Senator Graffis, Senator Carmen, Senator Kiger, Senator Mackinac, Senator Sweeney,
Present.
Senator Ensworth, Commissioner Ramlo, Senator Ivan, Senator Miller, Senator Chess, Commissioner McCarthy, Senator Redstone, Senator Danlo, and then Director Cornwell.
President.
And then we have the corner.
Perfect, okay. Moving on, are there any additions to the agenda this evening?
I motion to add resolutions 19, 20, 25, and 29.
Perfect, is there any discussion about adding to the agenda? Perfect, okay, so move a second to vote on adding these resolutions to the agenda. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? Okay, resolutions added. Okay, now, is there any discussion about the approval of the previous meeting minutes? Any motion? Second. Okay, so move a second to vote on approving the previous meeting minutes. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, abstentions, it is approved. Okay, no old business evening. Moving on. Get the motion.
I motion to add resolution 19, 20, 26, 27, 28, and 29.
And for those who are new members in the room, the consent agenda allows us to all vote on all these resolutions all at once, so it saves time. So Chief of Staff Pearson reached out to you via Slack, so you should have already got all these budgets. So we're trying to speed up the meeting tonight since we have two presentations. So is there any discussion? Yes, anyone second? Okay, there you go. Sorry to cut you off. Okay. It's been moved to second to vote on adding these resolutions to the consent agenda. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, abstentions, consent agenda passing. Okay. Now, no, we vote later. Yes. Okay, new business. So first up, we have resolution 1920-24. A resolution to appoint a clerk of court to the judicial panel, whereas there's primary sponsor, Mr. Chief Justice.
Okay, so Kayla did a good job. She's done a great job this last month, and with Walter stepping out as clerk of court, we need Kayla's ready to step up. Is there a foul on it?
So secondary sponsor, Deputy Justice Lynn.
Yes, Kayla has done a wonderful job this past month working with us, and I believe she is ready to step
Former clerk of court, possibly, no?
Well, my term's up. You all appointed me for a month, my month is over, I am done. But that being said, I spent this last month working with my lovely assistant clerk in front of me here. And with everything that she and I have done preparing her for this position, I believe that she has my full confidence as my replacement. So I encourage you all to approve her appointment and reserve the balance of my time.
Is there any discussion about this resolution? Second. It's been moved and seconded to vote on resolution 1920-24. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, abstentions, resolution passes. Next up, Senate Bill 1920-03, a bill in support of additional water bottle fill stations on campus. Whereas, primary sponsor, Commissioner Schreiber.
Yeah, so we just heard a great presentation on sustainability and discussed that. So I encourage you all to pass this bill because the water bottle fill-up stations help promote a more sustainable lifestyle, and they also help further the university's sustainability initiative. And I will deal with the
Vice Commissioner Dickerson? Sorry.
Yeah, I agree with everything Allison said, and as we saw from the sustainability presentation, it's really important at this time. Waste handling up and whatnot, and there's a lot of water bottle waste, so we use water bottle fillers, we'll hopefully encourage people to wait for plastic bottles.
Is it okay, So Commissioner Zimmerman said out, myself, President Ramlow,
Environmental affairs has a special place in my heart, and I know West College has added a new water bottle fountain in the art, and it has lots of traffic, a lot of attention. I think it'd be great to have these all across campus to again encourage reusable water bottle use. Reserved about my time. Is there any discussion on this bill? Yes, Commissioner Connors.
Have you taken any concrete steps like set up meetings with faculty and stuff to talk about this yet?
I was gonna wait until we asked to support.
It's been moved second to vote on Bill 1920-03. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, abstentions, bill passes. Okay, I would love to make Vice President Lenny Morris pro temp. So, go for it.
Yes. Okay. Senate Bill 1920-04, a bill to affirm student senate's vision, whereas primary sponsor.
Hello all. So I would love to read the vision statement really fast that us as leadership team has come up with. So our hopeful vision statement for Student Senate is to pave the path forward by being an organization where Ohio University students can share their ideas, questions, and concerns to better our Bobcat family. And really, us as an organization really never had a vision. And of course, we're the liaison between the student body as well as administration. But really, I wanted to kind of say, like, what are we striving for? And again, one of our big platform plans this year is to be more visible, be more transparent, making sure the students know what we are doing and make sure that they feel comfortable kind of sharing their concerns and ideas with us. So, and that's basically it. So I really all my time.
Is there any discussion on this bill? Friendly amendment, the Ohio University Student Senate is a governing body, not yes. Do I have a motion? Okay, so, all those in favor of the friendly amendment? All those opposed? Abstentions? Okay, it's friendly amendment. Do I hear any other discussion? Or a motion?
Vote friendly.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to vote on Senate Bill 1920-04. All those in favor? All those opposed? Abstentions? Bill passes. So.
Sorry, Resolution 1920-25, a resolution to allocate funds equally to Senate and the Senate Appropriations Commission. Whereas the primary sponsor treasurer at the Apples.
So yeah, every year you're the ones that administer the New York Times, and from that we get $10,000 back, and the leadership team decided to divvy that up, $5,000 to the Senate body and $5,000 to the SAC body.
Perfect. Secondary sponsor, Commissioner McCarthy.
I go everything Treasurer McAdams said,
Is there any discussion on this resolution? All those in favor of resolution 1920-25, please raise your hand. All those opposed, abstentions, resolution passes. Back to the consent agenda before commissioners report. So now we're voting on the consent agenda. Is there any discussion about the consent agenda? Do I hear a motion?
Move to vote.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to vote. Oh, yes. Senator Carmen?
I just wondered, are budgets allowed again consent agendas?
Oh, they left. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you-
Sorry, I was
can you
looking for
friendly
it.
amend
Chief
resolutions?
Justice's answer, but yes.
Can you friendly amend resolutions on consent agenda?
We cannot friendly amend budgets.
Okay, well, I just wanted to point out that there were 2 spelling errors in these budgets, but it's okay.
Sounds good. And point of information, we can't consent agenda any appointments, because that's individual appointments. You don't want to consent to that, but everything else is a consent agenda. Okay. With that clarification, is there a motion? It's been moved and seconded to vote on the consent agenda. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed, abstentions? Okay, abstentions and passes. Commissioner, do you have a report this evening? Yes, Commissioner.
Yes, so academic affairs, with the help of Clara, our wonderful research director, and headed by Ellie. Ellie, we love her. We just released a survey that talks about the need for tentative course offerings and how they might benefit students advising needs, and I would encourage all of you guys to take that survey. I will send it in the Slack, at the beginning of the GDM. And I also call attention to the fact that next week, from September 29th to October 5th, you are able to donate up to 3 swipes per person for the for the event. And I was really excited about that. So please donate swipes if you are able to do so. That is
Perfect. Any other commissioners have reports? Yes, Commissioner Fair.
Me and my vision and Off Campus and Felicia and Graduate Student Senate are all working on a mayoral debate and a city council debate. So it should be interesting. If anyone went to the voters forum last night, I'm pretty excited. So if you have any suggestions for questions, we have we're gonna form a little committee to make questions with all of our commissions, but we also want to hear what you guys want to hear. So if you have any general ideas, we can make sure to put them on our list when we start making questions. Because we are gonna meet soon, and it will be on October 17th. It will be in here because we filled up last time because we turned people away. So information will be in the Slack soon, and I'll talk about it next week as well. But if you have any questions, suggestions, get them to me or Adam or Alicia. Exactly. That's it.
Any other commissioners? Seeing none, we'll move on. Any Senate committee reports this evening? Seeing none, moving on. Any university committee reports? Okay, seeing none, moving on. Okay, hello. It's middle school theme tonight, so we'll be in a great joy of all of our faces. So, okay, I have a couple points in my report this evening. First of all, I want to say thank you for participating in the evaluations last week. I know we're at the end of the meeting, we're all tired, we want to go home, so I really appreciate your attention throughout that process. I do want to bring up a couple points that were discussed in my evaluation. I know a couple people said speak louder. I know the room's kind of always like a hinder to my voice. So if you can't hear me, I'm usually pretty good about going back and forth. And if you want to point up to this ceiling and say Lydia, speak louder. I don't want to like that. I mean, but I don't want to raise your hands and think you have a question. So some other hand motion, that'd be great. Yeah, you can figure it out. Another point I'd like to make is that just a reminder, my role is very external. I mean, administration, which allows me to run around across campus 24/7. I know a lot of you were like, oh, I let hang out with all the time, right? I just want to remind you, as one of me, it's 80 plus of you, and I really do try to make sure I'm in the office talking to the new members of the Senate. But don't feel free to come to our office and say hi or anything, or say a fun fact about yourself without helping remember your name. So I really appreciate that feedback. And also, I'm always willing to have a meeting with anyone in the body. So my office hours are on the executive office door, and you can always shoot me an email if you have questions. Second point. So we have a town hall coming up on October 21st, 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. in this room. And for those who have not been attended before, this is a pretty new initiative. It's only the second year we've done this. And this allows other student orgs and even students coming in and kind of expressing their concerns, ideas, kind of align with the vision statement we just passed tonight, and making sure that us as members of the leadership team are here to hear those voices. But also we would love to have you all out coming to the town hall as well. There will be more PR coming out within the next 2 weeks, advertising. We have friends who are in other student organizations, definitely kind of plug in for us and say, hey, I think you should really go to this. We're gonna have snacks, hopefully, so free food, always a bonus. 3, for a silent packing event, I really appreciate all those who were walking around. That event was very impactful and many people. And we had a couple families who had lost their children due to suicide who came out, and I think that really meant a lot to them. Thank you for all out there walking around. Really means a lot to me too. As well as Smile Together, thank you for those who stopped by at the table today just to say hi. really appreciate. There's also kangaroo, so that was pretty awesome. And another point is air shifts. So I'm going to talk about this more in upcoming weeks. It's November 1st to the 3rd, which is Dad's weekend. But if your dad's not coming down, there's the kind of a pitch idea in the collab, and you can sign up. It's the collab/design things at the ohio.edu URL, and I can put this in the Slack later. But basically, we want a group teams of students to kind of analyze how hazing can be improved on campus and how we can spread awareness and prevention around hazing. So it's going to be a little competition, and we'll love for some student-centered representation on that. It sounds like I'm going to be a judge on that too, which will be fun. So if you have friends who are in Greek life or other student orgs across campus or are just interested in improving hazing on campus, please reach out to me or share the information via Slack. And lastly, I really appreciate you all having questions with our presenters, but I always like to say, make sure you do some research about the presenters who are coming in beforehand, so you have more insightful questions and make sure our questions aren't repetitive, especially because they're spending their evening with us. So we want to make sure that we're asking insightful questions that hopefully lead to further conversations in the long term. And with that, as end of the report.
In 6th grade, I actually still wear that jean jacket, but it's proud now. Even though it's 9.5 years old, but that's fine. I'm gonna piggyback off what Lydia said about evaluations, because I am more of the internal kind of person. I need to go to commissioners all the time. I know what's going on in all your commissions. I also just wanted to start to welcome to everyone to come into the office anytime to talk about anything that you want to talk about with me, whether it be a problem or a project. I am in the office literally all the time. I'll be here at least 2 hours every day. It's a rare occasion for someone to not see me there. And then I also, since everyone wanted to talk about the general education committee today, this was actually already on my report. I wanted to stretch a welcome to come to talk to me about any concerns about general education that you have, any of your experiences or anything, because I do serve on that committee with Stuart, and we are really picking out a new model. We can't talk about the model that we're picking up right now until they pitch it to faculty senate on October 7th. But they will be coming to the body and speaking afterward on November 6th if we just got an email confirming that date. But I would like to answer any of your questions that you have about general education and your experiences with it, and how this new implementation is going to impact students who are coming in. It won't really impact most of you because it will be implemented for students who are first years in the fall of 2021. So you won't really get that other than the learning outcomes of the course. That's the end of my report. Okay, moving on.
So that is my mother and I in Yellowstone Park, I think my 8th grade year. So just like a couple things. So if you guys have any projects, please reach out to me as soon as possible so I can help you get funding and make that transition for you. And then I'll just go down and sort of explain what the numbers and the categories mean themselves. So allocated not spent is currently our R&D allocations, such as Take Back the Night, the $100 that was allocated to commission, and so forth. And the not allocated nor spent is what we have remaining to spend as a Senate body. And then in terms of SAC, the total is spot plus U fund. We usually start out at about 400,000, but after our 3 organizations that we partner with that we each give $80,000 to, it comes down to the spot, which is our initial allocation from the school. And the U fund is given to us to help fund events that happen after 6 p.m. on weekdays and then on weekends as well. So if you have any more questions about the money or anything like that, please reach out to me. And so now on to the numbers that we're over here. And then so our Senate total is $58,670.77. Allocated not spent $5,747.33. Not allocated nor spent $52,923.44. SAC total $237,520.70. Spot $159,697.67. And the U fund is $77,823.30. And that is, and these numbers are true and accurate to the best of my knowledge, and that's the end of the
This is me, like in sixth grade, sitting on the front porch. This is my Facebook profile picture for 2 years. Homecoming is coming up. The community service committee will be making a banner, and I am not very artistic, and so I've been desperately, like, I have Jordan coming, Adam will be there. I'm like, if you are artistic, if you want to help and you have ideas, please come. I really want this banner to be great. I'm very excited about homecoming, so reach out to me. We're going to be probably painting it homecoming week. We're getting the banner and stuff next week. Also, please do Clockify. I'm supposed to be doing your office hours. I hear things, and I'm like, please fill them out. Appreciate that. Also, too, our intern program's first meeting is this coming Sunday, and we will be talking about proxying. So, if you guys are in need of proxies, our interns will be here to proxy. I'm very excited for that. And then just something to just kind of like about my position is I am the liaison between all of you guys and the executives. So if you guys ever have a question about anything or concern, please feel free to come to me. I love student senate, so people come to me. So with that is the end of my report.
That is a picture of me on Halloween night in 7th grade, I believe. My mom's Facebook caption was "Jordan as a nerd." That explains the classes. I do not have a report tonight, but I hope all of you have a fantastic rest of your day. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of your week.
Picture, and they'll be there next week.
We have two essentially just meetings with them as well as
Just a couple of things really fast. As you said, homecomings are around the corner. If you are going to be starting the parade probably next week, so if that's something that you're working on being part of, get signed up. Quickly, I would say. Other thing, this year we are doing student recognition a little bit differently. Instead of allowing for rolling student board recognition, we have a deadline to the So if you know that you're trying to start a student organization, get that in there by September 30th. We're about to go to the spring. That is, we were having a really hard time with each other. Everyone was on the same training schedule. We're training, we were spending so much time on one-on-one trainings with people. So everybody on a schedule.
Okay, Lydia's right, she spends a lot of time with administrators, but I want to say that it was really great spending time with you yesterday. We both were at the contacting volunteering at the same time. And I just found out that we're going to judge together the hazing prevention pitch. So also a good time. So thank you, Jason, for funding that.
Which I just found out about.
Yeah, I was like, by the way, you funded that. He's like, I did? I was like, yes. So Jason funded it. And so the nice thing about those pitches at the collab is that the winning pitches will be funded. They will come to fruition. So that's exciting too. So, but you can't bribe us or anything, but we are.
We're paying for that part too.
Thank you.
Okay. Jenny wanted everyone to know that in middle school, I actually had beer.
Yes.
That's the end of my report. Did she get top? Oh, she gets special. Oh.
No, I don't have middle school pictures. I have not been in 8th grade and we put on ambulances yet. So, but I do have another opportunity you guys to hear about. It's the pilot program with social study applications that in October. There's another one from COPC. It's called the Mountain Contribution Challenge. You guys may have heard about this last year. But this takes place April 18th of 2020. And so this is a day-long competition for students who want to be skills tested with series of challenges. And so how they're going to train you guys to get ready for this is that you guys can create a team of 6 people and 1 weeks of every semester. So your team will study and train during like all the competencies as you guys on your itself. So they were wondering if we have interest in forming a team this year. So you guys, we sent this through Slack a little bit, and you guys have it like now,
motion? So move the second to adjourn, and all in favor, please raise your hand. All those opposed? Abstentions? Okay, meeting
There are two people. Two.
That's
Bye, Lisa.
Bye, Jackie.